In the neon heart of a city controlled by alien overlords, alarms shatter the night as a prison lab erupts in fire and sparks. A lone survivor, fused with forbidden alien tech, bursts free, leaving chaos and shattered guards in their wake. Iron Man descends from the sky, repulsors blazing, while Wonder Woman crashes through the ceiling with unstoppable fury. The villain Empire's monstrous army falters as the heroes tear through their ranks, city streets shaking with each strike. Deep within the throne room, the ultimate threat stirs, an alien monstrosity more terrifying than anything the world has faced. The breakout at Echo Vale. The alarm shrieked like 1,000 sirens tearing through the steel corridors of Echo Vale Fortress. Red warning lights flashed across the room, bouncing off walls slick with alien machinery and blood. In the center of the lab, a human, fused with alien tech in a cruel experiment, twitched violently, cables embedded in his flesh sparking as they burned through his veins. His eyes glowed an unnatural amber, a byproduct of the experimentation that had nearly destroyed him. Guards in black armor scrambled, panicked, their weapons useless against the raw energy radiating from the captive. A loud crash split the air as the reinforced glass of his containment cell exploded. Shards sprayed outward like deadly stars, cutting through alarms and sending sparks skittering across the floor. The survivor fell forward, landing in a crouch, fists sparking with uncontrolled kinetic energy. His first movement was instinctive, rage, fear, and a need to survive fused in one violent motion. A pair of guards charged, but they were flung backward as if struck by a phantom hammer. Screams filled the chamber, mixing with the mechanical roar of failing alien devices. Iron Man's boots hit the floor with a precision-engineered thud as he dropped from above, thrusters hissing and flames licking at his suit. He landed in the midst of chaos, repulsors charging in a brilliant blue glow. Identify target, he barked into his HUD, scanning the room with lethal efficiency. Sparks danced across his armor as stray energy bolts from the failing tech ricocheted off walls. A lab assistant tried to flee with a datapad containing the fortress's secrets, but a blast from Tony's gauntlet sent him sprawling across the metallic floor, unconscious before he could scream. Above, Wonder Woman crashed through the ceiling, a cascade of debris raining down around her. Her shield absorbed shards of metal like a living force, and her sword gleamed, catching every flicker of emergency light. She landed beside Iron Man, a whirlwind of unstoppable momentum. "The experiment has gone too far," she said, her voice calm but carrying an edge of fury. "We end this tonight." With a swing of her sword, she cut through reinforced doors like they were paper, opening the path to the corridors where chaos was spreading like wildfire. The survivor, now fully upright, moved with a predatory grace, his limbs twitching with unnatural speed. Alien implants shifted beneath his skin, a grotesque lattice of technology and muscle. Every step he took left small scorch marks on the floor, and a low hum of energy surrounded him, crackling in resonance with the alarms. He didn't speak. He didn't need to. His body was a weapon, and the fortress itself had become his battlefield. The first wave of guards met him with blaster rifles and energy whips, but it was futile. Each swing of his fist sent men flying, and the air around him shimmered with kinetic bursts. Tony fired carefully, targeting mechanical enhancements on the guards to neutralize them without collateral damage, while Wonder Woman engaged in close combat, deflecting attacks with her shield and striking with brutal precision. Sparks flew as the heroes and the survivor moved in a deadly, synchronized rhythm, metal, muscle, and alien energy colliding in a cacophony of destruction. In the control room, the chief scientist screamed into a microphone, his voice trembling as he watched monitors showing the lab's collapse. Security drones collapsed mid-flight, their circuits fried by the survivors' energy emissions. The fortress's alarms shifted to a red strobe, signaling complete breach. Tony's HUD flashed warnings, structural integrity failing, life support compromised, secondary containment units offline. Every system he attempted to stabilize was already gone. "This place is a powder keg," he muttered, firing off a precision shot to disarm a trap designed to vaporize anyone who approached the inner chamber. Wonder Woman's eyes narrowed as she surveyed the chaos. Dozens of guards were converging from a side corridor, and she leaped into the fray with a warrior's cry. Her sword met blasters and energy whips, and she moved with a grace that made the chaos seem choreographed. She deflected an incoming missile midair, sending it crashing into a stack of alien machinery that erupted into flames. The corridors of Echo Vale shook with every blast, and somewhere deep within, the fortress itself groaned under the stress of failing systems. The survivor turned toward the heroes, acknowledging them not with words, but with an instinctive nod of trust. Iron Man recognized it immediately. This was no longer just a rescue mission. The survivor was their ally now, an unstoppable force born from the cruelty of Echo Vale itself. Together, the three moved through the labyrinthine fortress, leaving a trail of destruction. Pipes exploded, floors buckled, and containment fields flickered into oblivion as they tore a path toward the heart of the Empire. Outside the lab, the city beyond Echo Valley's walls began to tremble. Citizens watched in horror and awe as explosions lit up the night sky. The villain Empire's drones, previously patrolling the streets, were now scattered, dismantled by the hero's initial assault. News feeds captured fleeting glimpses of Iron Man descending through the clouds, Wonder Woman's silhouette cutting through fire, and the survivor moving like a living storm, each scene more viral than the last. Fear had begun to take root in the hearts of those who thought their control unshakable. Back inside, the laboratory's main core, where the most dangerous experiments were conducted, started to destabilize. Energy conduits overloaded, sparking a chain reaction that threatened to tear the fortress apart. Tony shouted into his comms, "We've got minutes before this place goes nova." Wonder Woman gritted her teeth, swinging her sword to deflect debris as they pressed forward. The survivor, sensing the impending destruction, charged ahead with a roar, smashing through reinforced gates that even Wonder Woman couldn't open without leverage. Finally, they reached the inner sanctum, a chamber of alien steel and flickering holograms displaying twisted human experiments. The survivor paused, scanning the horrific displays, and clenched his fists. Iron Man and Wonder Woman flanked him, ready for the confrontation that was about to erupt deeper inside the fortress. Every alarm, every shattered console, every fallen guard, all of it led to this moment. The battle for vengeance, justice, and survival was only beginning. In that instant, a shadow loomed over the trio. High above, a massive hatch began to descend. A low, guttural growl echoed through the halls, a sound that sent chills even through Iron Man's armor and Wonder Woman's battle-hardened senses. Alien Hulk had awakened, and just like that, Echo Vale Fortress became more than a lab. It became the stage for a war the world had never seen. The path of vengeance. The fortress trembled as Alien Hulk's shadow stretched across the walls, but Iron Man, Wonder Woman, and the survivor didn't pause. They surged forward, leaving behind a trail of fire and sparks, charging down corridors littered with shattered guards and broken alien tech. Every step was a statement. Echo Vale would not survive another night. Tony's HUD blared warnings, structural failures, security turrets reactivating, and energy surges rippling through the walls, but he barely noticed. His gauntlets fired in rapid succession, blasting through reinforced doors and neutralizing drones with pinpoint precision. Each shot was a flare of blue light in the chaos, illuminating the corridor in bursts that reflected off pools of alien fluid and shards of glass. Beside him, Wonder Woman moved like a storm incarnate. Her shield absorbed blasts that would have vaporized a building, her sword flashing in arcs that carved through alien limbs like butter. The survivor led the charge, moving with a predator's instinct. Alien implants along his arms and legs pulsed with energy, converting every strike into explosive force. Guards tried to form a blockade, but they were no match for his speed and strength. Walls crumbled, floors buckled, and even the most heavily armored soldiers were sent flying in bursts of kinetic fury. The combination of Iron Man's technology, Wonder Woman's raw power, and the survivors' alien-enhanced rage was unstoppable, a perfect storm of vengeance. Through the labyrinthine corridors, they came upon a squadron of elite alien soldiers, clad in black exosuits bristling with energy weapons. Their commander barked orders, a terrifying mix of human cadence and alien resonance. But the heroes were already in motion. Iron Man hovered above the ground, jets firing, unleashing a salvo of energy blasts that tore through shields and armor. Wonder Woman lunged, her sword cleaving through the air, a blur of steel that shattered alien helmets. The survivors smashed through the squad with raw fury, fists colliding with armored torsos in bone-crushing blows. Explosions rocked the fortress as containment chambers ruptured. Mutated experiments, half human, half machine, staggered into the halls, panic and rage in their eyes. Some attacked indiscriminately. Others froze in fear as the heroes approached. Iron Man quickly calculated threats, neutralizing only those that posed immediate danger, while Wonder Woman shielded terrified captives, guiding them to safety. Every freed prisoner was a small victory, each one fueling the fire of the survivors' rage against Echo Vale. The city outside felt the tremors of their assault. Drones fell from the sky in trails of fire, collapsing into streets already scarred by fear. Civilians peered from shattered windows, capturing glimpses of heroes moving with supernatural speed and power. Viral images spread faster than any broadcast. Iron Man's glowing suit piercing the night sky, Wonder Woman swinging through fire-lit corridors, and the alien-fused survivor tearing through enemy ranks like a living weapon. The villain empire's grip was slipping, panic spreading faster than they could suppress it. A sudden roar split the air. A massive energy pulse radiated through the fortress, knocking the heroes off their feet momentarily. Alien Hulk had arrived, moving with terrifying speed and precision, every step shaking the floor. Tony and Wonder Woman recovered instantly, coordinating their attacks. "We can't let him regroup," Tony said, firing a series of micromissiles that detonated around Hulk, but each one only seemed to fuel his rage further. Wonder Woman leapt into the air, sword raised, striking at Hulk with a force that sent shockwaves down the corridor. The alien monstrosity roared, retaliating with a swipe that tore a reinforced wall in half. The survivor jumped into the fray, fists glowing with kinetic energy, slamming into Hulk's side and staggering him. The three moved as one, a triad of destruction, striking with relentless precision, never letting the villain recover. Their assault pushed deeper into the fortress. Energy conduits exploded around them, sending debris flying in a deadly storm. Alien Hulk's army tried to block their path, but morale had already begun to crumble. Soldiers faltered, terrified of the unstoppable force before them. Wonder Woman shouted commands, guiding the survivor to strategic strikes, while Iron Man hacked into security systems mid-combat, turning turret defenses against enemy lines. Each moment was cinematic chaos. Lasers, sparks, crashing walls, and the roar of a monster facing a storm he couldn't control. At the fortress's edge, they breached a massive hangar filled with air fleets and war machines. Hulk's reinforcements surged forward, a tidal wave of alien firepower, but the heroes met them head-on. Iron Man's repulsors lit up the sky, shooting down aerial drones with deadly accuracy. Wonder Woman swung across catwalks, slicing through soldiers and machinery alike. The survivor leaped from platform to platform, leaving a trail of destruction in his wake, each strike pushing the alien army further into chaos. The villain empire's central command trembled. Holographic displays flickered with incoming data. Drones down, fortresses breached, elite units annihilated. Fear spread like wildfire through their ranks. Iron Man's HUD displayed a running tally. Enemy forces collapsing, power grids failing, morale at zero. The heroes had become a living avalanche, unstoppable and merciless. Finally, they reached the central elevator leading to the throne room. Hulk's growls reverberated through the steel corridors, each step a countdown to the ultimate confrontation. The survivor paused at the elevator doors, scanning for traps. Wonder Woman placed a hand on his shoulder, a silent acknowledgement. This was the moment everything had been building toward. Tony activated his suit's stealth boosters, preparing for the final ascent. The elevator doors opened. The path to vengeance was clear, but the final battle was just beginning. The villain empire had been wounded, its armies scattered, but the core remained. The ultimate terror awaited above. The war was far from over, and somewhere deep in the throne room, Alien Hulk's eyes burned with anticipation, ready for the reckoning that would shake the world itself. The Empire burns. The city outside Echo Vale trembled like a living thing. Skyscrapers quivered under the weight of collapsing alien war machines, and the streets were a battlefield of fire and fear. Citizens ran in every direction, screaming, as drones exploded midair in showers of sparks. From above, Iron Man streaked like a comet, his repulsors lighting up the dark sky, tracking enemy reinforcements attempting to regroup. Every second counts. Tony shouted through the comms. We can't let them reorganize. Wonder Woman landed in the heart of the city, her boots cracking concrete beneath them. Her sword swung in wide arcs, cutting through armored mechs and alien foot soldiers alike. The survivor moved like a whirlwind, smashing through barricades and blasting walls with his kinetic energy. Together, they formed a living storm of chaos, unstoppable, precise, terrifying. The villain empire had deployed its last reserves, towering mech titans, alien beasts enhanced with the same horrific biotech used on the survivor, and elite squads of soldiers armed with energy weapons designed to obliterate anything in sight. The heroes didn't hesitate. Iron Man launched missiles that tore through mech armor, sending sparks and twisted metal raining down on the streets. Wonder Woman hurled her sword like a meteor, cleaving limbs and weaponry with flawless precision. The survivor barreled through enemy lines, fists glowing, sending soldiers flying into walls, some breaking through entire storefronts. Fear spread through the Empire's ranks like wildfire. Soldiers froze, terrified of the trio, and commanders barked orders that went unanswered. Chaos reigned as drones crashed into one another, energy shields failed, and alien beasts turned on their own allies in confusion. The city, once a puppet to the Empire's control, had become a stage for relentless heroism, and the people began to rise. Small groups of civilians grabbed weapons, improvised explosives, anything to help, inspired by the unstoppable force sweeping through their streets. High above, Alien Hulk observed from a partially destroyed fortress tower. His growl echoed over the city, shaking walls and rattling windows. His rage fueled every step he took as he moved toward the center of the battlefield. Soldiers fell back instinctively, scattering as he advanced, leaving the heroes with a clearer path, but signaling that the ultimate confrontation was imminent. Iron Man hovered beside Wonder Woman on a shattered rooftop. "We've got to cut through their command lines," he said, pointing toward the fortress's main control hub. "Shut down the remaining drones, cut off reinforcements. That's our way in." Wonder Woman nodded, spinning her sword with deadly elegance. "We end this now," she said, her voice carrying over the chaos. With that, they leapt into the heart of the fight, weaving between explosions and collapsing buildings. The survivor led the charge, a force of nature. Alien soldiers tried to block his path, forming barricades, but they were useless. His kinetic strikes sent mechs crashing into streets, toppling them like toys, and his enhanced speed allowed him to dodge plasma blasts that would have vaporized a normal human. Sparks danced across the air as he collided with an elite mech, sending energy cascading in all directions. Iron Man targeted the fortress's defensive turrets, firing precise shots that caused chain reactions, igniting ammo caches and blowing apart armored vehicles. His HUD lit up with kill counts, energy surges, and structural weaknesses, every number feeding the rhythm of his attack. Wonder Woman cut a swath through the ground forces, her shield deflecting laser fire, her sword carving a path toward the command hub. Civilians cheered from hiding spots, emboldened by the hero's relentless advance. The villain empire's elite leader tried to intervene, a monstrous hybrid soldier, half machine, half alien, twice the size of a normal man. It roared and charged at the survivor, fists pounding the ground with the force of earthquakes. The survivor met it head-on, their collision sending a shockwave that shattered nearby windows. Iron Man fired concentrated blasts, while Wonder Woman vaulted into the air, slicing the hybrid with precision strikes. Sparks and blood mingled in a spectacular display of destruction as the elite soldier fell, signaling the collapse of the Empire's elite units. By the time the heroes reached the gates of the central fortress, city streets were littered with fallen drones, mechs, and soldiers. Fires burned in every direction, sending plumes of smoke into the night sky. Citizens emerged cautiously, some raising their fists in defiance, others filming the spectacle on phones and cameras. Viral streams of Iron Man, Wonder Woman, and the survivor battling through impossible odds spread like wildfire. The Empire was faltering. Command centers were offline, communications jammed, and morale was shattered. Soldiers who had once struck fear into the hearts of civilians now fled, scattering in every direction. Even the alien beasts, unleashed as living weapons, cowered in the face of unstoppable heroes. Yet, even in the midst of this devastation, one presence remained. Alien Hulk waited at the pinnacle of the fortress, muscles rippling with terrifying strength, eyes glowing with fury. Every strike, every blast, every fallen soldier only fed his rage. The ultimate confrontation loomed closer, and the city held its breath. The heroes stood at the gates, battered but unbroken. Fires illuminated their forms, sparks reflecting off Iron Man's armor, Wonder Woman's shield, and the survivors' alien enhancements. Together, they faced the fortress, knowing the war was far from over. The villain Empire's army was defeated, but its monstrous leader awaited, stronger, angrier, and ready for a battle that would shake the world. And with that, the city realized the truth. The Empire was burning, but the war for Earth had only just begun. Into the throne room. The elevator doors hissed open, revealing a throne room that seemed carved from nightmares. Alien steel twisted into grotesque spires, and jagged panels of glowing circuitry ran across the walls like veins. Sparks rained from overhead conduits, and pools of alien energy pulsated ominously across the floor. At the far end, seated on a massive throne forged from metal and biomechanical flesh, Alien Hulk waited. His eyes glowed a deadly crimson, muscles coiled like a predator ready to strike, and a deep guttural growl filled the room, vibrating through walls and bone alike. Iron Man hovered near the entrance, repulsors blazing. "There's no turning back now," he said, targeting energy nodes scattered around the throne. Wonder Woman stepped forward, boots cracking the floor, shield raised, and sword ready. The survivor tightened his fists, kinetic energy rippling across his body like a storm contained within human form. Together, they were the storm, and Hulk's calm, terrifying gaze made it clear the real battle had begun. Hulk roared and leapt from his throne with the force of a falling building, slamming into the floor with seismic impact. The room shuddered. Panels and pillars exploded outward, sending shards of metal like missiles through the air. Wonder Woman rolled forward, deflecting debris with her shield and slicing at armored limbs with her sword. Iron Man fired a concentrated barrage of repulsor blasts, aiming at the biomechanical implants covering Hulk's body. Sparks flew as the blasts met their target, but Hulk barely staggered, swiping a massive arm and sending Tony crashing into a wall. The survivor charged, fists glowing bright enough to ignite the metallic floor. He collided with Hulk mid-leap, a shockwave exploding outward, sending both combatants skidding across the room. Panels shattered, energy conduits erupted, and the throne itself cracked under the force of impact. Hulk rose with a roar, swinging wildly, every strike throwing chunks of the floor into the air. Wonder Woman met him head-on, deflecting blows with her shield and striking with her sword in precise arcs that left trails of glowing energy. Iron Man recalibrated his repulsors mid-flight, targeting weak points in Hulk's biomechanical enhancements. Each blast hit with pinpoint accuracy, knocking out alien implants and sending sparks cascading like fireworks. Hulk roared, fury boiling over, and slammed the ground, sending everyone flying. The survivor recovered midair, landing atop Hulk's back, fists smashing into armored plating, each hit creating tremors that shook the throne room. The battle was chaos incarnate, metal clashing against metal, flesh against steel, energy cascading in blinding arcs. Hulk's rage fueled every attack, but the heroes adapted, moving as a coordinated force. Wonder Woman's shield deflected incoming debris while she struck critical joints. Iron Man's missiles disabled remaining throne defenses, and the survivors' sheer kinetic force disrupted Hulk's balance again and again. As the fight raged, the throne room began to collapse. Support beams buckled under the violence, sparks arced wildly, and alien energy reactors threatened meltdown. Hulk, sensing the endgame, roared in fury and leapt high, attempting to crush the heroes beneath his mass. Wonder Woman vaulted into the air, sword glowing, and Iron Man fired a synchronized repulsor blast, amplifying the energy to strike Hulk from two sides. The survivor landed a devastating punch directly into Hulk's chest, sending him crashing into the throne, cracking it in half. For a moment, silence. Hulk rose slowly, bloodied, mechanical implants smoking, and let out a roar of pure rage. The heroes, battered but unbroken, stood ready. Each knew the final strike would decide the fate of Echo Vale Fortress, and perhaps the city beyond. Then, without warning, Hulk slammed his fists into the floor, sending a pulse of alien energy that caused the entire room to shake violently. A hidden mechanism activated deep within the throne, releasing a vortex of energy that began tearing through the ceiling. The heroes were thrown back as the fortress shuddered. Hulk glared at them, and for the first time, a smile cracked across his monstrous face. "You think this ends here?" he bellowed. The answer would come, but not tonight. Outside, the city waited, trembling, knowing that the war was far from over. The heroes had survived the throne room, but the greater battle, the war for Earth itself, was just beginning. The Cliffhanger War. The throne room groaned like a living beast as alien Hulk's pulse of alien energy ripped through the ceiling. Sparks and molten metal rained down. The floor buckled, and walls cracked under the strain. Iron Man skidded across the debris-strewn floor, thrusters blazing to maintain balance. Wonder Woman rolled under a falling pillar, her sword slicing it in half before it could crush her. The survivor propelled himself through the chaos, fists glowing brighter than ever, leaving streaks of energy that lit the room like lightning. Hulk roared, a sound that shook the fortress to its core, eyes glowing crimson as his rage reached a new, terrifying peak. "You cannot stop what is coming," he bellowed. His biomechanical implants glowed violently, feeding the energy vortex tearing through the ceiling. Iron Man fired a rapid succession of repulsor blasts, trying to neutralize the energy surge, but even his precision tech couldn't fully contain it. Wonder Woman charged, shield up, and landed a devastating strike on Hulk's chest, forcing him backward, but the vortex's pull dragged chunks of the ceiling toward them. The survivor hit Hulk with a full-powered punch, the impact creating a shockwave that sent both combatants crashing through shattered pillars. Sparks and energy arcs lit the air as Hulk struggled to rise, bloodied but far from defeated. Tony recalibrated, firing micro-missiles in rapid succession, each one hitting critical points in Hulk's armor and biomechanical implants. Wonder Woman hurled her sword, piercing through armor plating and striking Hulk's side with explosive force. Still, he roared and surged forward, unrelenting, a perfect storm of rage and alien enhancement. Suddenly, the fortress convulsed violently. The energy vortex tore open a hole in the ceiling, revealing not just the sky, but portals shimmering with light. Shadows of entire alien armies stepping through. Unseen forces ready to join the fight. Hulk's grin widened. It wasn't just a battle for Earth tonight. The heroes stared at the looming portals, realizing the scale of what was about to descend upon their world. Iron Man hovered, calculating odds at lightning speed. "We've got minutes, maybe seconds, before reinforcements arrive," he said, voice tight with urgency. Wonder Woman's eyes narrowed, scanning the portals. "Then we fight, no matter what," she said, her sword gleaming with determination. The survivor clenched his fists, energy rippling in anticipation, ready to meet any enemy head-on. Together, the three heroes formed an unbroken line, their resolve unshakable despite the looming threat. Hulk slammed his fists into the floor one last time, sending a shockwave across the room that shattered every remaining wall. The throne, once a symbol of alien dominance, collapsed into a pile of molten metal. Yet Hulk rose from the wreckage, larger and angrier, his glowing eyes promising destruction beyond imagination. The heroes launched themselves at him in perfect synchronization. Iron Man with repulsors firing in precise volleys, Wonder Woman with a flurry of sword and shield strikes, and the Survivor with devastating kinetic punches that lit the room in streaks of golden energy. The first wave of enemies stepped through the portals. Alien soldiers, monstrous hybrids, and biomechanical horrors, all screaming in unison, ready to overrun the fortress. The heroes fought back, but the scale of the incoming invasion made it clear. Tonight was not an end, but a beginning. Each punch, each blast, each strike bought them seconds, not victory. The last shot of Part 5 freezes on a cinematic tableau. Iron Man hovering, chest plate glowing, repulsors aimed. Wonder Woman standing atop a pile of rubble, sword raised, cape flowing like fire. The Survivor crouched, fists crackling, energy surging like a living storm. An alien Hulk, massive, scarred, eyes glowing red, grin twisted with rage as more portals open behind him. The world outside trembles. A single line cuts through the chaos, chilling and inevitable. This war has only begun. The city waits, the heroes brace, and Alien Hulk prepares for a war that will shake not just Earth, but the very universe. The battle is far from over.